My peoples, was good? Your boy JPOZI+IVE coming back at y'all again with another recipe tutorial video. Now, for anyone who uses milk often, whether dairy or not dairy, this recipe right here is going to help to cut down grocery expenses tremendously. This is a recipe for homemade walnut milk. Now, I first got inspired to make this from a health guru that I follow. His name is Yada, Y-A-D-A. Y'all could look him up on social media. Now, you look up the health benefits of walnuts, man. It has so much to offer. Plus, this tastes amazing. So let's get into it. Okay, here's the ingredients and supplies needed. Go ahead and screenshot it. So here's what I'm working with. Organic walnuts, hemp seeds, blue agave, vanilla extract, sea salt, ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, an empty jar to strain the milk into, an elastic band to go around the rim of that jar to hold this fabric in place. That is tulle fabric, which works perfect for straining. My measuring cup and an empty gallon bottle for the finished product. Now, this is how I set up the empty container. I put the tulle fabric around the rim, push some of it down in the container so it can strain a good quantity of what we're blending up, and then I secure it. Now, if you have a large blender, just double up on everything you see me doing here. That's a cup of walnuts, a tablespoon of hemp seeds, a light sprinkle of ground nutmeg, a light sprinkle of ground cinnamon as well, about 15 sprinkles or 15 cracks of sea salt, as I'm doing here. And I just add in enough water to get close to filling up the blender. There you go. So with a large blender, you would only have to do this process once by doubling up on the ingredients that I showed you. In my case, with a smaller blender, I'm doing this process twice. So here's my first round of blending it up, and I give it enough time to liquefy before I take it off, and I shake it around a bit, and then I'm going to re-blend it just to try to blend down the content as fine as possible so that when it comes time to strain it, there's less content that has to go through that strainer, so it comes out smoother. Just like this. Looking good. And this is where we can grab our empty containers and start straining this stuff. So I just pour slowly. No need to rush this part at all because we're trying to let as much of it get through the strainer on its own as possible. So that was my first cup. I add my second cup in. Once it's all in there, then I grab a stirring utensil to help push it through the fabric even better. I'm left with some solid content. And what I do here is I pick up the fabric, twist it a little bit, and I want to squeeze as much liquid out of the solid remains as possible to really thicken up the batch. And you should be left with just a little dry nugget like this, not much at all. I cover the container tightly, shake it around, and now we're starting to look like milk, folks, right there. So I pour that into my measuring cup, and I get that going into the empty gallon bottle. So once all of it's in there, this is where we take our spring water and we add to it. You want to get it close to the top of the gallon, but not all the way full. And here's why. We're going to take 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And for me, at least 3 tablespoons of blue agave. I like a subtle sweetness to it. Not too strong. But I cover the bottle. I shake that around for about half a minute to a minute. Really absorb all the flavors into the milk. And there's your walnut milk, people. Now to store it, I put it in a large sealed bag. A large Ziploc bag is even better because it's airtight. But the back of the bottom of the fridge with the thermostat on its coldest is the best. Now I can make 5 to 6 gallons with the bag of walnuts and hemp seeds I showed y'all. Now this goes well for hot and cold cereals, your coffee. You can make ice cream with it. You can make pastries with it. Pretty much any recipe that calls for milk, this is the way to go. And if that isn't convincing enough, just the idea of cutting down on your grocery expenses is something we can all appreciate. I know that. So for those who do try this, I hope you enjoy it and the ingredients. But the most important ingredient is love. Go and get you some.